There were 29 in the Plumb Bob series, and I saw at least 17 or 18 of them, and then they delayed some of them because of the weather and all that, and they held those till the next year when I had left. They had animals placed at various distances, from 500 feet to 1,000 to a mile to 2 miles and so forth.
After the shot, collection trays, air samplers, and animals, chiefly dogs and burros, were distributed over a 10-square-mile area in the vicinity of Ground Zero to get a time and distance index on the harmful effects produced, with some of the beasts kept in the area as long as 180 days. Post-mortem findings on the animals, collated with the test area's contamination pattern, are expected to provide answers to this grave problem.
Big animals, goats and cows and things like that were 2 or 3 miles from the blast, they were only seriously wounded, so they would execute those and have a barbecue for the officers and so forth.
They would actually eat the animals that were exposed to radiation?
Well, the radiation wasn't a big thing at that time. We had a little counter on that we wore every day and changed them every day, but I didn't see anything real hazardous as far as I'm concerned. People say that's why I'm living so long, because I'm like the ants in them, that I'll be live a long time because I was induced to radiation. But I didn't see anything that was too hazardous myself. I thought they took good care of us, but then I was in a command position, and consequently I had the best treatment going. But yes, they had barbecues, and they would execute those animals that were too seriously wounded to recover, and they would be 3, 4, 5 miles from the blast. The most impressive thing that I saw was a bunker that they built with 12-foot thick rebar enforced concrete walls, and they had a machine in the center to measure the bomb. They only put it like 400 feet from the tower itself. But when the bomb went off, it was much larger than they thought it was, and when we flew over the place in a helicopter later that afternoon after the bomb had gone away and subsided and all that, why, it was completely vaporized.
Wow. And
that really set fire to the surrounding mountains and all that sort of thing. They made several attempts on their blasts that were larger than they anticipated, and that's what they were doing tests. They were testing what they were doing. They had different towers, 1,700 feet and so forth, that were of different alloys that caused different colors to the bomb and all that, but it always clipped the towers right off about 3 feet from the ground. One blast was so large, I think it's called Hood, that was so large it dipped into the ground and picked up sediment from the ground and took it in the air. That's where the downwinders of Utah got affected, and picked up all the dirt, and it dug a hole in the ground 175 feet deep, so a little larger than they anticipated. It knocked over our command trailer, and it pushed the troops that were 4,000 yards away behind us. It pushed their trenches over on top of some of them, but it didn't bury anybody, but it pushed it up to their chest or their waist or something.
This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.